How's everybody doing out there? Good evening. How's everyone doing tonight? It is December 28th. It is just after 10 o'clock p.m. And I just wanted to come on just for a few moments tonight. I know this is not my usual time for Talk with the Doc, but I just wanted to talk tonight about strokes. Okay, I heard some devastating news in the news tonight, and so I wanted to just come on and do some talks about stroke. I'm going to just wait a few moments and let some folks join in. Please go and get your friends, share this video so that they can learn all about strokes and so that you can know what you need to do to lower your risk of stroke and how to address those risk factors, okay? Like I said, I'm just going to wait a few more moments. It is 10 p.m. I know it's kind of late, but I did want to come on and talk about strokes because it's so important that we understand what's going on with when it comes to strokes. All right. So you all know who I am. I'm Dr. Nicole, your board certified family medicine physician. I specialize in managing, treating, and preventing chronic medical conditions and explaining those conditions to people in terms that they can understand. Through my books, my seminars, and my concierge medical practice, I help pastors and professionals and everyday people just like yourself, who are overworked, overwhelmed, and overweight to transform their minds, bodies, and spirits so that they can have a greater impact on those around them, their children, their congregations, their communities. All right. Please follow me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Dr. Nicole D.O. That's DrNicoleDO. And look out for my book, 12 Secrets to Divine Health, that will be coming out in the new year. All right. I did want to come on tonight because I heard on the news that the beautiful news anchor from CBS 47 down in Atlanta, her name is Amanda Davis, and she passed away today from a stroke. And Miss Davis was only 62 years old, so she was young. If you saw her, or if you ever watched her on TV, she was beautiful. She looked to be healthy. She always talked about her struggles. She was a recovering alcoholic, and she was very open and honest with her struggle to get sobriety and to maintain her sobriety. And she was a phenomenal news anchor for over 30 years in Atlanta, and she was absolutely beautiful, and she died today from a stroke. Now, the news story that I heard did not say whether or not it was a bleeding stroke, which is called a hemorrhagic stroke, or an ischemic stroke, which is a blood clot type of stroke. So we do know that there are two types of strokes. Somebody can write that down in the comments if you want to. There are two types of strokes. There is a bleeding stroke called a hemorrhagic stroke, and then there is, an ischemic stroke. That's called a blood clot. That's when, hey Tara, thanks for joining in. That's when a portion of the brain is not getting enough blood supply, when a blood clot goes to the brain, all right? And depending on where the stroke occurs in the brain determines on the severity of the stroke. Okay, you've heard of mini strokes called TIAs, or called transient ischemic attacks. Those are mini strokes. Those are reversible symptoms, stroke symptoms that typically occur. Those can be precursors to strokes. So if you're having things like weakness or trouble talking or numbness and tingling only on one half of the body, that can be a sign of what's called a TIA. TIAs typically only last for about an hour to 2 hours. Less than 24 hours typically for a TIA, and then they go away, and then you regain back control. But TIAs can be, like I said, a precursor towards, hey, Dr. Pam, thanks for joining in, can be a precursor for larger strokes. Okay, so like I said, there's hemorrhagic or bleeding strokes, which can come from a weakened blood vessel in the brain, like an aneurysm. And when those blood vessels break, then you get bleeding in the brain, you get pressure in the brain, and that is very dangerous. Okay, and then there's the ischemic strokes, or a blood clot in the brain, where a portion of the brain is not getting blood supply. All right, and like I said, the news story that I read did not say what type of stroke Miss Davis had, but we do know that she died, and it was a massive stroke. All right, so strokes can be categorized. You know, there's mild strokes, there's moderate strokes, and then there's severe strokes. All right, I know a lot of people know about strokes. You probably heard about strokes. You've seen people be disabled from strokes. They have weakness on one side. They can have problems speaking, problems with their memory. But did you know that strokes can kill? Okay, a lot of people didn't know that strokes can actually kill you. And so I wanted to come on tonight and just give some information about strokes, because as we're getting ready to wrap up this 2017 year and go into 2018, I want you to be aware that strokes are a big deal. All right. So one of the big, just number wise, I wanted to tell you about strokes is that the stroke is the third leading cause of death in the world. Okay. The fifth leading cause of death in America, or in the US. Okay, so there are over 800,000 people that have, oh good, you're close by, Dr. Pam, maybe you should come visit. Those are over 800,000 people in the United States that have a stroke each year, all right. And it's a lot, guys, it's a lot. So basically they say every 4 minutes someone dies from a stroke. Every 4 minutes. So I've been on now for a little over 4 minutes. That means someone has died from a stroke. It is a big deal. All right, guys. So who gets strokes? Strokes happen, typically they happen more in women than men, and they happen more in African Americans than other races, and they happen in people who are overweight. They happen in people that have high blood pressure. They happen in people that have diabetes. They happen in people that are smokers. These are some of the risk factors that I'm listing here for who has strokes and who can die from a stroke. Okay, even a first-time stroke you can die from. So it's not just, oh, I can worry about it later. No, guys, strokes are a big deal, okay? And I'm sure we all know somebody who's had a stroke, but I want to just talk about the importance of knowing your risk factors, okay? So again, women, if you're overweight, if you have a family history of strokes or blood clots in your family, then that makes you at a higher risk. Excuse me. If you have high blood pressure, if you have diabetes, if you're a smoker, you've got to stop smoking. Smoking is one of the leading causes, one of the highest risk factors for getting these strokes. Okay, so you want to stop smoking if possible. If you drink a lot of alcohol, if you do a lot of binge drinking, and like I said, Miss Amanda Davis was a recovering alcoholic, but we need to know that if you binge drink and drink a lot of alcohol, that does increase your risk of having a stroke. The older we get, the higher our risk factors are for having a stroke. And if you have high cholesterol, there's another risk factor for having a stroke. All right. If you have inactivity, if you're not getting out and exercising, we say 30 minutes 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week is the best at minimum. So if you want to do more, please do more. But if you're not active, then that increases your risk factors for stroke. So some of these risk factors that I listed, you can't do anything about. Okay, you can't do anything about your family history. You can't do anything about your gender. You can't do anything about your age. You can't do anything about, like I said, the family history. But there are risk factors that you can change. So if you're a smoker, quit smoking. Simple as that. 2018 is coming. Don't even wait for these last 3 days. Go ahead and stop smoking today. Go see your doctor. Say, Doc, I need to quit smoking. I need to lower my risk of stroke, and I need to quit smoking. All right. If you are overweight, I need you to work with me. Okay, work with me. Grab an accountability partner. Come say, Dr. Nicole, how can I lose weight? Come join my Facebook group, The Dazzlers with Dr. Nicole. Go ahead and request to join. We will work together with a plan on helping you lose weight. Okay, because If you can lose some weight, that can lower your risk of stroke. If you have high blood pressure, you gotta lower your blood pressure, guys. A couple months ago, or last month, excuse me, they increased the cutoff for what is considered high blood pressure. So if your blood pressure now is considered high if you're 130 over 80. Okay, so if you're higher than that, then you have high blood pressure, and you need to see your doctor about what lifestyle modifications you can do, what you need to do to lower your risk of having high blood pressure, so that will lower your risk of having stroke. If you have diabetes, guys, I cannot stress this enough. When you have diabetes, you have lots of sugar in the blood. That makes the blood really thick. Okay, when the blood gets thick, it can throw clots. When you have clots, that's what causes the ischemic strokes. Okay, so if you have high diabetes, you've got to work to bring down the sugar in the blood so that you can lower your risk of strokes. Okay, you need to probably be taking an aspirin if you have diabetes, or if you have high blood pressure, if your doctor recommends that. Okay. If you have high cholesterol, again, cholesterol thickens the blood, and when the blood gets thick, that's how you can get those clots. So you want to fix your risk factors for high cholesterol, taking your fish oil, eating a diet that's low in fatty. You don't want to eat a lot of fatty, greasy foods. You want to increase your exercise, because that's the things that can help lower your cholesterol and lower your risk of strokes. And then inactivity. Guys, if you like to just sit on the couch, if you have a job that has an activity. I saw a patient today, and she was like, ever since I got this new job, I just sit around. I'm a secretary now, so I just sit around. I'm not active like I used to. I've gained 10 pounds in the past 3 months. And I was like, okay, so we've got to find a plan for you to get you active. Listen, 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. That's all I'm asking you to do at a minimum. All right. You've got to get active. You've got to increase your exercise, and that's your cardiovascular exercise. It can be as simple as walking in place in your living room for 30 minutes. If you want to go walk around a store, walk around the mall. I know it's a little chilly right now. Even in the South, it's kind of cold, but if you can walk, that will increase and get your heart rate up. That helps to decrease your risk of stroke and increase your cardiovascular supply, and then you can do better. All right, and you decrease your risk of stroke. And again, if you're a smoker, stop smoking. Hey Tangi, thanks for joining in. Please share this video. We've got to lower our risk for stroke. All right, so I didn't want to stay with you long tonight. Excuse me. I just wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit about stroke, the different types of strokes, the hemorrhagic or bleeding stroke, and the ischemic or the blood clot type strokes. And then just let you know that stroke, it's happening a lot. It's the 5th leading cause of death in America. Okay. 3rd leading cause of death in the world, but 5th leading cause of death in America. That's high, guys. So what we can do to lower our risks, again, lose weight, exercise more, stop smoking, lower your blood pressure, lower your cholesterol, lower your sugars with diabetes. And those are the things that you can do actively today. Start today. Don't wait until 2018. I know even I have my own New Year, New You campaign that I'm going to be running for 2018, but don't wait till 2018. Start today. Start today. Go ahead and contact me, Dr. Nicole, on Facebook, facebook.com/Dr. Nicole DO. That's DrNicoleDO. And so that you can learn how to change your life, so that you can have a greater impact on everyone around you, all right? So that you can lower those risk factors for stroke, so that you can stick around, all right? And if you have had stroke, what are the symptoms that you need to look for? If somebody else is having a stroke, the new acronym is FAST. So if people have facial drooping, so one side of the face is like drooping. Hey, Caroline, thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. Please share this video. If you have facial drooping, all right, and then the A stands for, what's the A? Asymmetry. So if you got weakness on one side, like an arm droop. So if you got an arm droop, if you have a facial droop, and then if you have a difficulty in speech, so if garbled speech or you can't understand the person, those can be signs of a stroke. So you need to quickly move fast, FAST, move fast, and get them to hospital. All right. Strokes are no joke. You can die from a stroke. All right. So you want to, if you see facial drooping, if you see arm weakness, or if you hear speech difficulties, get them to a hospital fast. All right. Again, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about stroke. I do my weekly talk with the doc Sunday afternoons at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I wanted to come on today and just talk about strokes. We want to just say a special prayer for Miss Amanda Davis's family and for all of her fans down in Atlanta and down in the Southeast region. We're praying for your family, and we know that we're going to do what we can do to improve our lives so that you will have actually, Miss Amanda Davis, your memory will have impact on us, even in your passing, that we can do better for ourselves, all right? You all know who I am. Again, I'm Dr. Nicole, your board-certified family physician. I specialize in managing, treating, and preventing chronic medical conditions and explaining those conditions in terms that everyday people can understand. Through my books, my seminars, and my concierge medical practice, I help pastors and professionals and the congregation, people who are overworked, overwhelmed, and overweight, to transform their minds, bodies, and spirits so that they can have a greater impact on their congregations, their communities, their children, and everyone around them. Again, please look out for my book. It's coming out just in a couple of weeks here in the new year. It's called The 12 Secrets to Divine Health. And I know you all want to be healthy and you want to know what those 12 secrets are, right? You can, I'll drop it in the comments, the link that you can go ahead and pre-order that book, The 12 Secrets to Divine Health. And I will see you all on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our weekly Talk with the Doc session, where we're going to talk about setting New Year's resolutions that you can achieve. All right. Thanks again for joining me, and I will talk to you guys on Sunday. Have a good evening. Oh, and I did want to say just one more thing. I bring this broadcast to you today in remembrance of my grandfather. That's his picture up there, Mr. Neil Martin. He did have a stroke. He didn't die from the stroke, but he did have a stroke. So I bring this to you in remembrance of Mr. Neil Martin and also in remembrance of Miss Amanda Davis. All right. Thank you so much. Dr. Nicole signing off, wanting you to have abundant life. Have a good evening, guys.